Hi, this is Belinda Colubriale, and this is Talking High Performance with Belle. So I'm making this podcast for people who want to live their best life, people who know that there's more in them, but they just don't know how to get it. So there's a gap, something's missing, I'm making it for them. Welcome back to another episode of Talking High Performance with Belle. I really love the feedback that I've been getting on Impact Month. It's been really, really powerful. So if there's anything that you've noticed, feel free to send me an email and get in touch because I'd love to hear what you have to say. Today, as we wrap up this month, I want to talk to you about how do you make every conversation a connection? So how do you build more authentic relationships and how do you focus on the person in front of you and the situation in front of you? And how do you bring the real you into those conversations? And I want to share with you 4 ways to help you do just that. The first one, and this can be quite hard, is all around embracing authenticity. So this is the first way that I feel you can really make every conversation a connection. And the secret source of connection lies in authenticity. And quite often we get this wrong, whether we're in a group of people that we're intimidated with, or we're with our co-workers and we feel like we have to be this specific person, or we're with leaders and we feel like we have to be perfect. But embracing authenticity and being yourself is really, really powerful, and the ability to be yourself without repercussions. So I'm saying, within reason, don't go and start swearing if you're a natural swearer and you need to do a presentation, to a group of nuns at a charity event. But I'm just saying, if you want to embrace authenticity, do this in a way that feels really good to you, that's appropriate in the moment. So being genuine and sharing your thoughts creates an environment where others feel really comfortable to do the same. And it's the cornerstone of really meaningful connection. So when you embrace who you are and you can embrace your thoughts and your feelings and get curious around, oh, that's actually how I feel. Wow, I wonder why I feel that way. And you've got people that you can bounce that around with. It's really, really powerful. And often being your authentic self can feel really daunting, especially if you felt like you've had to put on a facade for parts of your life. And as a leader, as an employee, as a parent, you may not feel like you will know how other people will receive it if you show up as your authentic self. And I'm working with this amazing client at the moment, and she is really high up in her role, and embracing authenticity and working out who she really is the next step for her, because she's a powerhouse. But up to a certain point, she's had to portray a certain version of herself that not necessarily is accurate now. So it's all about breaking the walls down and going, who am I now and how do I work through that? That's the first way. So embrace your authenticity and be proud of who you are. The second way to make every conversation a connection is to listen. And I know I've spoken about this a lot this month, but active listening really goes beyond words. And it's not just hearing the words that are said, but it's also listening for what's not said. And in coaching sessions, this is really powerful because quite often people will go A, B, and C, but the point that really creates the difference is what they're not saying in D, E, F, G. I had to think about the letters there. So it involves understanding the emotions, what's being said, but also what's not being said, and bringing that to the forefront if you feel that needs to be said, or asking for permission to ask or say something that you've observed. And when someone's going through a difficult time, lending your ear and feeling into what their experience really can help to elevate them to that next level. And intentional listening requires our full attention, free from distractions. And it involves us getting really curious around the other person's story and trying not to be judgmental around that, because in any given moment, that's the best that they have. So this is really, really important. So if you think about a time again that somebody's really, really listened to you, and I mentioned this last week as well, how did you feel? And now imagine you having that impact on somebody else's conversation. It's pretty powerful. So number 2 is listen, and it goes beyond words. Point 3 is to be present and remove distractions. So again, I want to bring this up again because it's so important. In our fast-paced lives, being fully present in a conversation is a real gift. And to be in a conversation with someone who's able to remove distractions is a real gift as well. There's nothing worse than talking to somebody when they're constantly distracted with their phones. they're waiting or it's pinging every 2 seconds. I don't know about you, but it drives me nuts. So it's about sometimes putting away the distractions, turning off notifications, making eye contact. And they're really important things that often fall at the waistline when we're busy. And I've been guilty of this myself in the past, but I always try and be conscious of, am I actively engaged in the conversation? Like, is my phone on the table? Maybe sometimes there's a reason it needs to be. Other times it definitely does not need to be. So just being really actively engaged and being present is really, really important. And it's really important if you're a type of person who wants to build those deeper connections. So show the person that you're engaged, show the person that their words matter, and try and eliminate the external distractions. And then the last point is to share your stories and be vulnerable. As leaders and as individuals, our stories are the most powerful tool in our toolkit. And it's when we can explain our stories, when people understand our stories, and when we can get really vulnerable around what's worked well, but also what's brought us to this point, it really deepens connections around us. And our stories are often not spoke of enough, because if we share our story, we wonder, will other people think I'm a failure? Will they think I'm enough? Am I capable of doing this? And we need to reframe our stories and go, our story is our story. It's made us capable. It's prepared us for what's coming, and it's made us resilient. And when we can share those stories and share those struggles, that's when deeper bonds are formed. Because quite often you'll see someone at the top and you'll go, oh, they've got it easy or they've got it made. We haven't seen all the baby steps and all the challenges that they've had to overcome and all the times they've had to show up courageously in their story to get to that point. We've just quite often seen the end result. So sharing your story, letting others know that, you're not the only person maybe that's felt that way. Like, share something about yourself that can resonate with them, that can help them, that can really encourage them to be open and honest in their communication. And when you can do that, it's really, really important. And when leaders do this with their teams and share a little bit about their story or share a little bit about their challenges, you see the look in the team's eyes just open up and go, wow, they're a person too. And maybe I didn't recognize that part of their story. Maybe I didn't recognize that was a challenge of theirs. And now that I know, and now that I'm aware, I look at this person in a different way. Really, really powerful. So being vulnerable and opening up about your challenges and your triumphs, it fosters that real sense of connection. So next time you feel like you're holding back or you feel like you want to share something but you're not quite sure how it will be received, I encourage you, think about share your story and be vulnerable and just see what happens. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and this concludes our exploration of Impact Month. And today we ended it with making every conversation a connection. And I shared with you 4 ways that you can do that in your own life. So to embrace your authenticity and just do you, listen in a way that goes beyond words, being present and removing distractions, and sharing your story and being vulnerable. And there are many, many opportunities in our day-to-day lives where we are able to do this, where we're able to elevate our conversations and elevate the lives of others through the engagement, through the vulnerability, and through the things that we can do that can really make a difference in their lives. So try these strategies in your daily conversations, and I'd love to hear about them. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast or to my newsletter list, and I'll let you know every time a new episode drops. And I'll see you next month, which will be a new topic. So until then, live a successful, purposeful, and fully charged life. Your coach, Belle.